Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 2 is in serious trouble. Things aren't looking too good. Now, as we all know, this is all stemming from this rushing nature that has been going on dating back to Season 3. I know Wit Studios did such an amazing job that people didn't even realize that they were being forced to meet some ridiculous deadlines. And that's also why they had to implement a bit of CGI. Of course, they didn't use CGI on every single Titan, as well as characters that weren't considered to be shifters, but nonetheless, at certain points, they did have to use a little bit of CGI. Now, if you look at Season 4, we know that a ton of studios had to back out due to the ridiculous deadlines, and MAPPA Studios themselves had to use heavy amounts of CGI to so much of a degree that at points it looked like it was straight out of a video game. Now, of course, all of this isn't to focus on the CGI, but the trickle-down effect, which is this constant trend of everything being rushed, to where now you have the manga creator admitting to the ending also being rushed, and that in itself altered the story, to where now you have fans that are so upset by the rushed project that they've received that they're now creating petitions to alter that ending, which, by the way, the manga creator, like I said, admitted to the ending being rushed and also stated that he's going to change the ending to what he originally thought it should be. Now, of course, which adaptation of the ending will be implemented still remains to be seen, but we have witnessed some of the petitions online, one of which has garnered a lot of attention. Is basically stating, look, we want the manga creator to come out with an ending that will eventually be animated and give him the time that he needs so that things are not rushed. We can sense that things were rushed in the last few chapters of the manga, and we don't want to see that in the anime adaptation. We want to see what he originally thought out to be implemented in the anime adaptation. Now, you have other fans, which I'll use the term fans very loosely in this one because they've been spreading a lot of hate towards the manga creator. They more so have the idea that MAPPA Studios is the savior of the entire anime community because they did a wonderful job with Jujutsu Kaisen, and they actually went as far as stating online that they think they would have done a better job with the story than the manga creator, and they also want MAPPA Studio to create the ending for Attack on Titan. Now, the problem is, look, there's a lot of recency bias for MAPPA Studios because they did an amazing job with Jujutsu Kaisen, but people don't realize that they have worked on tons of other projects before. Some amazing, some not so amazing. It's easy to pay attention to the amazing stuff, but it's not so easy to pay attention to the not so amazing stuff, right? Because you're not looking up who created those projects, okay? Or who worked on those anime adaptations. And the reality is, with this project in general, MAPPA Studios wasn't brought in to have ample time to do the amazing work that they're capable of doing. They were brought in basically because every other studio had the idea that you should not rush studios when it comes to creating a quality project, and they did not want to damage the reputation of Attack on Titan by trying to meet some ridiculous deadline. MAPPA Studio was willing to make those compromises that other studios were not. It's that plain and simple. Wit Studios would have loved to work on the project if they had more time to do it justice, okay? Which means they were not happy about having to implement some CGI in Season 3, and they knew that they would have to implement a ton of CGI in Season 4. They also understood that this will have a ripple effect, a rushing nature that will trickle down to everyone across the board, and that will overall compromise the project, to where you have the manga creator himself admitting that the ending was also rushed. You have the final season kicking off before the manga is even completed. If you don't see an issue with that, especially when this is one of the most stressful projects to work on. Not to mention, the manga creator only likes implementing somewhere around 5 to 7% of his time into the actual project in itself. And I know what some people are going to say, well, why doesn't he just put more time into the manga? Listen here, a lot of manga creators that implement a large portion of their time into the projects end up having serious health issues due to the stress and having to constantly work on those things, right? So overall, and plus it's his time, he can do whatever he wants with his time.